warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dinela Putri Syafrilla and I am here to present my proposal that name Improving Students' Vocabulary Through Mapping Words. So before we jump to the problems, I would love to introduce this title to you first. So background of this study is we know that in this modern era that we need a language like to actually can mastering more than one language is important because we use language for communicating with people, and without that communication we will left behind. So one of the factors that we learn in learning language is vocabulary, and in here teaching vocabulary can be done through so many ways, like using activities or allowing students to define the words or finding the synonym, antonym. There is many ways to teach students more vocabulary in the English class. One of them is called mapping words, and in the study, I hope that implementing the mapping words can help students to improve their knowledge in vocabulary in English, and also can help them either in speaking or in writing, especially writing comprehension, because they have more vocabulary. So I did some research in the SMP Negeri 1 Indramayu, and we are trying to find out how the mapping words affect the ability of students in vocabulary, and then hopefully this will help students to improve their vocabulary, and then they can learn more, and then they can apply that to in the speaking or English in general. And then the theoretical background or the literally research on this is we have some like keyword. The first one is vocabulary, and then we also focus on the mapping words. So what is vocabulary? According to Dedi Suryana, in Teaching Vocabulary 1990, states that vocabulary is one of language components. It supports the teaching and learning of the 4 language skills of reading, listening, speaking, and writing. As the language component, vocabulary must be taught in a proper way. And in his book, Dedi Suryana states that vocabulary divided in 2. First one is vocabulary skill that involve deducing meaning of the context, use of the dictionary, word formation, coining, and ignoring unfamiliar words. And the second one is vocabulary activities such as involved word guessing, word association, crossword puzzle, slime, word classification, and read dice and riddles. And there is some way to teaching vocabulary. They can use like you can deduce the word from the text, or using keywords, or we can use like teach the vocabulary as that vocabulary itself or stand alone. Like we pick like a new vocabulary, and then we like explain the point of that, and then use that for some example or practice. And there is some way to teach vocabulary based in Dedi Suryana 1997, that some of that way is using brainstorming, discussion, explanation, analyzing, and designing. And then there is some indirect vocabulary learning, like engaging in daily conversation, or listen to people when they read, or just using extensive reading. And what is mapping words technique? Mapping word techniques is one activity to increase students' vocabulary in English. It often teaches to be one of the most effective way of integrating language skill in the language classroom. Through the terms mapping words have been interpreted in many different ways by both teachers and textbook writer, both activities over a flexible yet principled way of tailoring integrated skills to learner needs. McDonald, 1994, states that network vocabulary and stimulation work, on the other hand, usually requires the learner to take part in communication which involve personal experience and emotion. And then, is it effective to use mapping words technique according to the expert? According to Ronald Carter, in vocabulary and language teaching, he states that the list content a word from the target language is a synonym in that target language or translation in mother tongue, and this can be accompanied by a picture or summing or of graphic or other mnemonic representation. So from that statement, that I conclude that the speaking activities basing on the graph and is often really useful to give students valuable practice. In this case, that it can also help with the improving vocabularies. And then the phrase of mapping words in teaching vocabulary, based from Herbert and Studridge, have three phrases. The first phrase is the informational input. The second one in the information that others learn have similar with respect to some of the measures, and the third is the feedback phrase. And then after all that research, after the literal research, we did the research methodology. This proposal is using the methodology of experimental method, which is the research methodology itself means based from Surahman. It is that a method that the research which expand the data for predicting the events in the future. And then for population and sample, we using the population is the 7th grader in SMP Negeri 1 in Ramayu, and the sample is chosen from 40 students. 40 students as the sample. And then the method that used for the data collection is using the observation for the students, and then using some tests. The test is divided as in the pre-test before the research started, and post-test after research ended. And the last one is using the questionnaires. The questionnaires is giving the students question through papers, and they answering that through what they feel through the research. And then the data analysis procedures is used, and the research is using the analysis data using the formula explained by Shurashimi Adikunto, which is the using test score, mean of each group, number of subjects, deviation of x1, x2, and deviation of y1 and y2. So I think that's all from me. That's all from the research proposal that I have. I think that's it. So thank you for watching, and see you later.